Well, here I am trying to do multiple videos on the day because I don't want to be fitting everything onto one video, right? So this is my third video of the day, but I want to give you guys the content, all right? So this way, I might have a couple of days where I could just, be doing something else when this is done. Anyways, what I'm doing here right now is the cook station, and I honestly screwed up. Like I said, I'm not good with measurements, man. This board here was supposed to go down here and go right across, right? So that way, if I have a frying pan, like after you cook or whatever, it was going to sit there to cool down. But then I thought to myself, well, why don't I just leave it on the top of the cooker? So what I decided to do is I cut the part anyway, not realizing I was going to use it on the front, so that way nothing slides out. Well, my cut was a little off. Look at all this. Completely way off. So this part here is glued. It's a massive issue that I've got because when I'm trying to cut things and everything, I'm just not good at it, man. So what I'm doing now is I'm just gonna put these little brackets in, kind of like that kind of thing, and then I'm gonna put it up against the floor, since now that the bed is in. And the bed is not going to be solidified yet until I figure out what I can use down here. The likelihood is I'm going to be using this board here and try and go right across down here, and I'm going to have to try and cut it somehow. I don't have a jigsaw, so if anyone has a jigsaw, by the time they see this, please, feel free to come by, and I would like to be able to use it. There is no place around here that rents power tools. Home Depot might, but they've been laxing on it because a lot of people either aren't returning them or they get damaged. So with me, I'd rather just be able to, buy a small for like $69. Maybe I should do that because I got more than enough room in my bag down there. And that's the other thing is too, I realize those bags are easily going to fit under here. So, like I say, like the likelihood of me filming a lot inside the van is slim unless it's raining out, right? So I maybe just be sitting there doing nothing or just vlogging or whatever. You know what I mean? And so, but the main purpose of this is just to, well, have a place to sleep, just like when you have a place to live, right? So anyways, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just putting these things on. I don't even know what time it is, but I have to watch out for the timing too. And then I'm gonna, solidify it. So until I find an actual unit that I can use, okay, or I can purchase or whatever, I'll be using this one as a temporary means, okay, very, very, very temporary. Right, so I don't give a rat's monkey's tool how it looks, how bad it is, as long as it does the job until I have a small unit in there that I can deal with, that can, cook station, right? So, and then on the bottom here is where this stuff is gonna go. So when it sit there, this stuff, all the cooking stuff is gonna go in there. This plastic will be gone. One less piece to worry about. I may be filming quite a bit from this general area for a while, you guys, because a lot of the parking, the city's stepping up to clean house on a lot of the streets with extra parking, dirt, garbage, road construction. So there might be times where I'm going to probably be down maybe in the commercial area doing some filming or whatever. So just be prepared for that, okay? And maybe I'll even do some gig work while I'm doing it, just because if I'm going to be down there, I'm also trying to make something, right? So, but Grandma there, she's enjoying her phone. No hair off my chest. Hey guys, if you guys do that, have you guys ever heard of earbuds? Oh jeez. Anyway, I'm gonna get back to doing what I'm doing. Well, the propane stuff's down there now. This thing is now bolted in. I bolted it down there, and down in the corner down there. So it's a little wobbly, but it is what it is. You know, and then of course, you know, there's the little flame thing there. So to me, I think that's gonna be good enough. And then of course, you know, I still have to get the cooker and be up here. I don't know where I'm gonna put that yet though. That's where I'm up in arms about right now. So, but I gotta see what's gonna be going on with this here first, with everything that's gonna go underneath. Who knows? And it might be in all my bags down, like 4 of them there, a bit of clothing, and maybe I could put some kind of a drawer or whatever for cookware. Well, I think for now it's gonna be enough taping until tomorrow, maybe. It's a work in progress, you know. Like, doing this kind of stuff is never overnight, right? So. But I'm doing this for you guys. I'm actually even been heavily contemplating putting these videos on the other platforms as well. You know, just to get videos out there, right? So, and who knows? Like, I could even link the YouTube. Oh shoot! That's why I kept on dinging. And I've also got to give the van a wash too. So I got to get a spray bottle and water, like a friend of mine said, and give her a wash down. No point in. Ever since this road opened, there's been a lot more traffic. So, you guys want to know what's so funny? Okay. You see how far out my door is right there? Only maybe about, I don't know, 8 inches, right? Whoops, 8 inches, right? You won't believe how many vehicles I've just had drive by me that came close to hitting my door. Wow. Like, I guess people don't know how to drive straight this day and age. See, this is what I mean. I got to clean this stuff off today. But the thing is, when you got restaurants everywhere and you got garbage food or garbage birds or whatever you want to call them around, you know, that's it's seagull doo-doo. So, but I'm gonna, like, apparently, you know, there's rain coming in apparently. So today was gonna be a car wash day as well, but apparently we're not gonna be doing that if the rain's coming in. It's the lazy way of doing it, but there's no point. It depends on how much rain's gonna be coming in, right? So. Anyways, just to recap what happened yesterday, okay? So this sucker here got bolted in, okay? It's still a little bit wiggly. It's going to be expected. But I've got all 3 canisters there, okay? And I got the green one there. Clearly the green one isn't going to be, it was for the Coleman's, eh? It's got the Coleman connector on it. So I'm afraid to open that thing. It's been 4 years, right? I'm like, I might have to get a cloth or something like that and try and twist it off. You know, but part of me just, I'm not sure of how to, you know, deal with that. So it's been too long. And then that cooker part that I told you about, which I guess sits up like this, right? But if I put those canisters, they'd be like way up here. So I think that kind of stuff there, okay, is going to have to be used for when you go camping or something like that, right? So, which is fair enough, you know. There's going to be a day coming where we are going to try and do a bit of a camp or whatever. It's a matter of trying to find a spot that's going to be available and open. Okay, I've been watching videos of people in the area, how they're all saying that there's nothing available at the moment. So, and that's alarming, man. It really is, you know, because you go out there to try and have some fun, right? And if you cannot get in there, you have to keep on driving and driving and driving till you find something. So, it's going to be tough. It really is. But I think that, you know, the only way at this time of the year we can find any kind of camping really is probably going to be well in the back countries, like, you know, past, for an example, like a Grouse Mountain, Mount Seymour, like go on the other side kind of thing, right? or you go towards Squamish, or just the different things, right? So, or even Vancouver Island if you have to, right? So, yeah. So I guess today, I did bring my other multi-changer, okay, and this sucker here, and yes, I'm parked over in this area. There's no parking anywhere available around here at the moment, so I decided to park here. This multi-changer was actually very, 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 very rusted. Okay, so I actually took an SOS pad, and it takes these two buttons to press on it, and there is rust on these suckers that you will not be able to get off, or unless you have like one of those scraper, I don't know what the hell they're called. Anyways, it's got flatheads. It's got the star ones in there for like if you're gonna tighten up a frying pan kind of thing. Screwdrivers. It's got some in here where I can actually deal with these screws. So this is my backup in case this one messes up. So, all right. So the agenda. I'm trying to still figure out what the hell to do with the back. But in the meantime, I want to try and get that one shelf bolted in. Okay. And I want to get that done. Actually, I just seen that I have to fix a spot on there because a screw came out, and that could be dangerous. And I want to get that. I can't even talk straight the way I'm feeling today. I want to get that done if I can. And then I want to try and figure out the back of it, and I want to sit on the bed to see what, if it's too high, too low, whatever. Because when the trifold comes in, okay, it's going to be like yay big. A friend of mine does it where his cookers are actually a little bit higher, so he might, whoops, sorry, I did it again. It might work out. But like I said, if it doesn't work out, at least I tried, right? So, okay, and then that way I could possibly start getting rid of some of this other stuff too, which are in these bags, maybe. There's some wood here I might be able to get rid of, but what I might do is, I said before, is take my saw, cut it up, and have it done, to where it can be firewood. So, and yes, guys, I do repeat myself a lot. I have a mental thing since I was a kid where I repeat until I've accomplished something. Okay, so please bear with that. Okay, I've been like that all my life, and I don't know. Maybe it's a disability. I have no clue. Okay, so, but I've never been diagnosed with anything except for anxiety and stuff like that. So, and my doctors have always said it's lifestyle. So, and yes, everyone always has to try and change lifestyle to better themselves, right? But it's not always easy to do. So, let's get on to this. I want to find the brackets, and I want to try and see what I can do about that unit. One of the things I noticed, when I started building these shelves, I was using like the 3-inch screws, right? Well, I'm undoing this one right here, and I'm going to do it correctly. I got the 8x2s, which can go directly right into this board here. I did this one by a screw up. So, yeah, that's how it's going to have to be with that. So, and I think this is the only one I have to worry about on here. Like I said, it wasn't built very well, but I didn't build anything for it to last forever. I did it just to, put whatever is going to be in there. If that makes any sense to you guys. All right. I'm trying to get this done as much as I possibly can. I can feel some raindrops falling. So, I can't seem to get the right angle to do this one. Dang it. I want to show you guys what I'm doing here, but I don't want to block you guys. You know what? This might not even be possible to do. shoot. Yeah, I'm gonna have to just show you guys. Wow, hold on a second here. You know, because this is important stuff, man. You know, because we're all aging, right? And I will get back onto the topic with what I was doing with this in a minute, because the rain's starting to come in. All right, but you know, it's a prime example, okay, that, you know, I'm 51 years old and I'm not exactly in the best of health either, right? I'm a little bit obese. I do have to lose some weight, you know. I got doctor's orders to do that and I haven't done it. I have to stop eating the Doritos. Anyways, when this kind of stuff happens, man, and here comes a fire truck too. He looks like he went all the way around. You know, you got to look after yourself and then try and bring positivity to life, right? Because you only live once. So when it comes down to, like, for an example, with us being nomadic, right? Vehicle dwellers, whatever the hell you want to call it, and you get people dissing you and, you know, talking trash towards you and everything. You know what? The best thing for us to do is block and report. You know, I have a few trolls in my life, man. You know, but the thing is that if a person's having, you know, angina attacks or whatever, right? It's a huge thing, because I've had one heart attack and I've had numerous angina attacks from stress levels. And I've been trying to train myself that, you know what, leave these trolls behind, right? It happens on every single platform, right? So that's why, you know, so you guys, you know, we've all got to look after ourselves better, you know, like by the time we know it, we're going to be old, wrinkly, we won't be able to move. No disrespect intended for those who are subscribed to me and older than me. You know, but we're all getting there, man. You know, and so that's why, you know, I go through a lot of stress myself. I'm going to get this bracket started, okay? Now, this is going to be difficult for me to do unless I could pull the bed out a little bit. I want to see if I wonder if I could do that. Just move it a tad, because that way it gives me access here. Okay, how on earth am I supposed to do this? I guess I gotta feel my way to do it and get it done. The other side's already done. Has one arm done. I don't think I need to get the other one done. It's not like it's gonna go all over the place, right? Once it's in there, that's it. But this is my streaming station we're talking about here. And right over here, okay, right where where all the stuff is. This stuff is going to be cleaned up, and it's going to be put underneath the bed too. Okay, you know, but there's a cedar pole down there. I think it's going to be chopped. Okay, and I'm thinking about putting the station up, so if I'm sitting right across, right, then I could, you know, I'm considering turning that into some kind of streaming station as well. So hard to say, but it's just an idea. So. Okay, I'm going to try and see if I can get this done. It's raining. It's starting to. Dang it. I'm trying to get as much in as I possibly can, you guys. The rain's coming a little bit more steadier now, but it feels so nice. All right, so this one here, it's a little bit on the wiggly side, but I bracketed it down here just with one. Okay, and then the same thing down there, I did a squeeze through here and got the one in there. It's barely moving. I probably could put a bracket down on the other side down there where, you know, these cuts were not done well. On the contrary, they were from old pallets. So I'm not really going to complain too much, right? So anyways, the next thing is got to be bolted in. Hold on. The next thing that's got to be done now, okay, is I think I'm going to need more brackets. So this part here just might have to wait, because I just, yeah, I might have to do it that way. Just trying to think of what the best way to do for the bed here to keep it in the same spot. I was going to try and cut up the wood today. Like that wood down there, and put it right across on here, so that way these legs are going to have a platform to sit on. But then I realized too that there's a lip in here. Okay, I'm not sure if you guys can see it. That goes up, right? Because, and the reason why it was made that way is because the back seats were in there, and it had to be, I guess, manufacturing wise, they had to make sure it was snugged in there. I don't know. Anyways, so that's going to be a bit of a bit of a problem there, it looks like. So only other option I've got here, from what I see, now you guys can go ahead and give your comments about this, okay, is for me to lay down on it and see whether or not it makes even much of a difference. I just don't want to have any problems with the legs here, but this is where my head's going to go, and most of the body weight's either midwise or it's going to be, yeah, basically that's where it is, right? So only other option I would have is to get some of these old sticks here and put them underneath. I don't have any earplugs right now. I wore them all out. Otherwise, I would use my circular saw again and just maybe cut up this wood here, right? There was a situation that came up and my earplugs are gone. So that's the situation. But clearly that's how it's going to have to be. So that way, if I'm sitting up here and I want to reach something, there's a little bit of space here, right, to where I can reach down there, right? So I think right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw some of the wood down there. So, don't want to get my phone wet. Like I said, this could be short-lived today. But that's okay. It feels nice out here though, you know? After having like 6 days of extreme heat, and you guys can actually see, you know, the mountains up there, you know, how you know, I don't know if it's if that's pollution or if that's going to be from the forest fires, because apparently the breeze was blowing down towards Lower Mainland and going out. Okay, let's see what I can do here, because this is exactly how I have to keep the bed. Wonder how many brackets I have left. All right, so what have I done so far? Well, talking to a few friends that showed up, they were telling me about a movie called Red Diamond that I should watch. So anyway, so I moved the bed just a tad to be closer to the edge here, right? And I've actually bracketed it down there, and it feels pretty freaking solid, man. You know, the only way I'd be able to come out this way, like for example, if I'm parked somewhere at a beach, no, I'll say maybe a campground, lakeside, clearly because this door is motorized, okay? So it's harder to open up. Not that it's not impossible, but it's harder. Anyways, so I would have to swing around and yeah, swing up this way. So I'm yet to sit in here to see what it's gonna be like. I'm quite sure it'll be a challenge, but you know, like I said, worst comes to worst, later on I could always change things up. So now, see, it's actually pretty solid in there already. Like, I really wanted to, I could probably actually start throwing this stuff underneath right now. Maybe I should throw that stuff down there, get the hockey sticks down there, because really it's not going to be like once the stuff's in there solidly, there, you know, there shouldn't be any problems. There really shouldn't be. So maybe I should do that. Sit on the bed and show you guys I'm actually in there. Wouldn't that be cool? Because then I can put my hockey sticks down there. All this stuff here is going to be cleaned up and put underneath before the rain actually hits. Yeah, it's gonna, okay. Well, in a few moments time here, I'm gonna be showing you guys what I've done. I have not been taping because there's a, you know, people that have been staring me down like a hawk that they're in a truck. At least I feel like they are, it's because they're parked right behind me. So in a few minutes time, I'm going to show you guys what I've done. It's been a work in progress. I'm getting hungry too. So give me a few minutes and then I'll show you guys the work I've done. There's still some cleaning to do too in here, right? So, but yeah, the stuff in the back that's on top of the bed might just be going underneath today. Stay tuned. All right, so you guys are probably wondering what I've been up to. Well, I haven't put the stuff underneath yet, as you guys can see. But what I did was I put the small brackets on some of the legs here, and I glued them up, right? So, as you guys can see here. Now, they've only got singles on there for now, okay? And in the back, I actually used some of the wood I was going to use for firewood. I figured, why not try and experiment with that and use that as an additional little bit of a platform to solidify the bed. I'll show you guys that in a bit. It's just that there's been different vehicles around here that have been parked, and I just feel like I'm being watched. So what I'm gonna do is, and it's been raining off and on, so I'm gonna go wash up, grab some toast, and then come back out here and I'll show you guys exactly what I did. That was quite interesting. Literally 2.5 hours, there was a truck parked behind me and the people were in there. And when they left, she gave me a weird look. So I don't know. They've been here before, but I just felt like that I was being watched, so I purposely left. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and see if I can put the stuff underneath the vent, even though parts of it is glued and bolted, screwed, whatever. But I just want to clear up the areas that should be cleared up. So, yeah, that was really weird how those people with that truck stuck around for so long. They weren't waiting for anybody, so. Yeah, I know, guys. I shouldn't be thinking the negative, but we're talking about this area here. Anything is possible. So. All right, I'm gonna give this a shot. Well, I think I might be stopping myself in my tracks here. I just sat on the bed, and yeah, it's too high if I was to be streaming on there and even cooking. So unless I was to come up with some kind of a chair to go, like, a fold-up chair kind of thing that can go like right here, kind of, sort of thing, the bed's gonna be too high. Now, I'm not gonna base this whole thing on just because of streaming, right? I'm basing it on because I want to be able to cook in here too. So, because by the time the trifold goes on there's no way I would have room. I would have to do some serious downsizing of the bed, and I'm not sure how much unless I bring the trifold down here and see how far it has to go down, because when I'm looking at the bags, right, like, see how low that bag goes, right? There's like 7 inches. So the plus thing is that you can take the glue off easily. The bad thing is that I can't chop where the dam. So yeah, so if anything, I'm gonna have to come up with some kind of a chair system or whatever that can go beside it, and then that way I can cook and stream. But what kind of a small chair can handle me? Like honestly, like the likelihood of me, like, for an example, if I wanted to give you guys a live stream, right? It doesn't mean I necessarily have to have the other side for streaming. It can be right here when the cooking stuff is down there, kind of thing. So it's no big deal. Like, so I could always give it a shot and see what happens, right? And like I said, worst comes to worst, I could just try and get some kind of cushions or whatever and just try to relax or whatever, or if anything, I could still use that pole, right? And still post it over here like my original plan, and have a platform, right? That's a nice RV. Holy smokes. Anyways, yeah, and then I could still just sit on the bed and, you know, relax and do the streaming stuff. But what I'm really worried about is the cooking, right? So, because I don't want to be on my knees doing it. So, and we'll figure it out. Like I said, maybe a small chair. I know some of you guys had mentioned about having a small chair, and just, you know, maybe just have it branched out here or whatever. Like the, you know, the likelihood that, you know, because this is summertime, right? So the likelihood of me needing anything to cook in here, unless it's stormy out, is slim, right? So, but when it comes down to winter, well, I guess I'll just worry about it then. So, in the meantime, you guys, I would like to have your input on this. Okay, so got this here, and I guess that stand over there for now. Okay, it's collecting wood in there, right? What do you guys think about that? And I got some extra wood down here, and the bed's in place, and I'm just starting to put the bags underneath. So I was actually just starting to clean too, right? So, but yeah, it's a little high for me to sit on, for me to be sitting on. I know someone else that did the same thing. I watched Roaming Reckless, and her bed was too high as well, right? So, but she suffered through it because most of her streaming was when she was out and about. She didn't really stream on the inside, and most of her cooking, right? She would have the cookware back here, and she would just have her little desk and go camping and do whatever, right? So, and if I have to do it that way, I will. I've never done this before. All of this here, okay, is new to me. I've never made a proper bed before. Oh, it's still technically speaking. Oh, but speaking of that, I used two 1x4s here, glued them along there, and put brackets in there, and the bed's sturdy. I've already sat on it, and yeah, it didn't go anywhere. I honestly, you guys, once this is cleaned up a little bit more, I am happy with what I've done. I really am. You know, because nice rig, man. So, yeah. Can't wait to take it to go camping or something like that to test her out. All right, so I just ran into a guy who I've been talking hockey with for a long time. We were talking about the Canucks, stuff like that, so I had to wait on this. Anyway, so yeah, so I'm gonna wait till tomorrow to try and finish anything else off. I have to wait for the glue to dry. It's a little tacky. I don't want to get the bags caught. And then I'm gonna put the bags underneath. I'm not 100% sure if I'm gonna put them this way, like right across, which I probably could, and then 4 down, and then I could actually put my clothes under there too, right? So I don't know why people keep on doing that when they don't need to go around like that. So anyway, so yeah, I could easily put it 4, and then there'll be room up at the front for clothing underneath. So all I gotta do is pull it out, right? But it's bugging me. I gotta show you guys this. Okay, I'm gonna get this sucker out of the way. I'm gonna show you guys what I'm talking about when I said that it would be hard for me to do anything properly in here. All right, so hold on. This is what I mean. It's I'm crouched right over, you know, like that. So, so it seems like that this thing is just roughly, I don't know, 5-6 inches too big. If it was down a little bit, I would be able to do everything that I want in here. Because a buddy of mine actually does his string right from the van, so. Doing it that way would really hurt the back. So, like I said, down here can always be adjusted, right? So, it does feel like, yeah, about yay much has to come down. So, probably be right about there, kind of thing. But thing is if I was to do it myself, I need to get myself a jigsaw. So, and then have to just redo the bottom. So So I don't think I'm going to do much more to this for now. But what an accomplishment though. But I really built it this high because I really thought the bags were going to be higher, right? So, well, at least now I know, right? So worst comes to worst, and the next time I just take it out and then chop it down by yay much, and then do it again. So, what time is it? 3 o'clock. Well, there's not much else I can really do until tomorrow. So, but I think that if I was to get another tool or whatever, I would have to get that jigsaw, get that over with. And you know, when you're cutting wood, from what I have been told, is that it's always beneficial to have something like a jig, so that way you could just go right along it very, very, very slowly, kind of thing, and get the right cut instead of having the circular one where you got to go across and your cut is all crap. So, yeah. Anyways, that's it for today. Until tomorrow. So I'm gonna clean up a little bit here, and you know, I've still got like 3, 4, I don't know, like 4 or 5 weeks or whatever, you know, so probably could still do something like that before we hit the road. And part of me says to do it that way, you know, to redo that bed, chop it down, just redo it, because it's a learning experience. But then part of me says, get on the road first and see what happens. So, because a lot of my streaming will be, well, outside. I really got to think about that one there, because, yeah, it's a lot of cans, man. Anyways, I'm gonna get going here. I'm gonna clean up the stuff that's on top of the roof there, and go get a drink because I haven't had water all day and it's already 3 o'clock. So thanks for coming out, thanks for watching, sticking around for more, and do my best to try and get you guys videos, and hopefully one day this channel will grow. So close this door. Talk to you later.